This portion of the video introductions will tell you a little bit about the exams for this course. For this online course, you will be required to take exams with paper and pencil. Some of the things to keep in mind for all of the exams in this course are: first, you are required to have a proctor administer the exam. Second, exams are timed and are taken without resources unless otherwise stated. And third, exams must be completed between certain dates. Okay. For the first item there, proctors. If you are in Fairbanks, you will be taking your exams at the Center for Distance Education. Under CDE info, if you're not sure where CDE is, down at the bottom of the page, there's contact information there. They're basically located off of University Avenue, on the opposite side of Fred Meyer's, just past Sophie Station. Okay. If you are not in Fairbanks, you will need to get a proctor for your exam. Okay. Proctors should be set up the first week of class. You will not be getting an extension on exams just because you don't have a proctor. As soon as you're done watching this video, I would recommend setting up your proctor immediately. Sometimes your proctors need to be approved. If you don't know of anybody, there is a proctor list. So on the CDE webpage here under exams, you can go to proctor list. This is a list of all the people by region and different areas of Alaska that are already approved to proctor exams for CDE. Okay, and as you can see on this page, you can also download this in a PDF, so you can print this out and contact these people. If you have someone who you are interested in being a proctor, you can basically just ask them and see if they're willing to do it, and then contact CDE. Proctors, like I said, need to be approved by CDE, and this process can take up to 2 weeks, so please do not wait and get them approved. Once you know someone or have someone in mind, contact CDE and get the paperwork filled out immediately. Okay. Basically, your proctor is going to be responsible for keeping track of your time on the exam and making sure your exams are taken with academic honesty. They are also responsible for getting your exams sent back to CDE in a timely manner. This is very important because, as you know, for a 15-week course, classes go quickly, and especially when you are mailing assignments back and forth, this detracts from some of the time that you have. So usually once you're done taking an exam, your proctor should email or fax that exam back to CDE, as well as mail back the original. This does two things for us. Faxing it or emailing it back will get it graded quicker so that we can return it to you and you can use it to study. We do need to keep the originals on hand for assessment purposes. So again, just remind your proctor once you're done taking the exam to do both of those things. Okay. All exams need to be completed between certain due dates. So as you'll see in your lesson folders, you'll see two types of folders there. One is the preparation for the exam, and one is the exam review. Preparation for exam will tell you when it needs to be completed. You can also find this information in the announcements. You can find it in the calendar, the schedule, and again in the assignment folder under the exam preparation. Okay. Within each folder, so again this is under the exam preparation, you'll see some information on how to prepare for the exam. The first thing there will tell you basically what the exam is like. Again, closed book, closed note. It is paper-based. It will tell you how many questions are going to be on there. You'll see study guides later in this section, but it'll tell you also how many hours you have to complete it, and whether or not you're going to be allowed calculators. Okay. For all exams in this course, if you are allowed a calculator, it should be a non-graphing, non-programmable calculator. Again, in this preparation for exam folder, you'll find out whether or not you'll be allowed to use a calculator on that type of exam. Okay. Again, here I'll give you information on if you're in Fairbanks, where to go to take it, and if you're not, make sure you've contacted your proctor. In here it does say you must request your exams 1 to 2 weeks ahead of time by going to the website here. Okay. This is very important because, as you know, it takes time to get things sent out. If you try to request your exam the day before you want to take it, it's not going to be there. Okay. Have your proctor set up ahead of time, have a date when you want to take it, and a week prior to that, try to request your exam. In order to request your exam, basically you're just going to go to the CDE link and fill out the information here. So basically it's all your information as well as your proctor's information, and then which course you want. And in here you should put the exact title of our course. Okay. You can also, in there under comments, put in information like your proctor would request that the exam be faxed to them or emailed to them, and that can again save on some of that time. Other information you'll find under the preparation for exam folder is what chapters and sections you need to read, which lessons you should have completed, practice problems from the textbook that you can do, and then there's also going to be study guides on here, and these are more like what you will see for the exam. Of course, the problems are not going to be the same, but you will see similar wording, similar layout, and get an idea of how you're going to see it pictured when you get your exam. Okay. Here you will also find solutions to these, and again, these can be printed out and worked on paper and pencil. Okay. And then at the bottom, where to go to get more help. Both the Math Line and the Math Lab are available to you. Math Hotline, again, make sure you call ahead of time and figure out when their hours are. They have set hours throughout the semester, so you'll need to contact them to see when they're available. Okay. The second part of the exams is your exam review. Okay, so once you've taken your exam and it's been sent to me and graded, then you're going to be asked to do a quick review, which basically means start by looking over your exam. If you haven't received it back yet, it probably means that I haven't gotten it and haven't graded it. Usually when I get your exams, I will grade them and send them right back to you the same day. Okay, so review these. Now, I will say, having said that, you'll get them after the due date. So if you take the exam at the Monday of that week, at least wait till that Friday before expecting to get it back. But after that Friday, I will have them graded and sent back to you within the same day. Okay, so review your exam, look at the problems that you missed, try to work them out. I do make corrections on your exam, so you should see where you went wrong. And then there'll be a little response. It's an exam 1 evaluation. It's usually about 20 points. It's four to 5 questions, and it's just on things about the exam. So, after looking at it, did it make sense? Were there problems you expected to see that you didn't? Look over those types of things. Hopefully this will help you prepare better for the future exams. The idea is, now that you kind of get an idea of what you're looking at, and how to work the problems and the types of questions I ask, you should be a little better prepared for future ones. Okay. The exam 1 evaluation is part of your exam grade, so please do not skip over these. You'll see these after every exam with the exception of the final. Okay. Once you've completed the exam and you've done the evaluation, then I would say go ahead and start into the next section. Again, make sure you look at your calendar. Probably the most important thing is to make sure that you complete all of the exams between the dates. You will not be allowed to make them up after the dates. Exams taken after the date will not be accepted. If they're taken before but sent after, I'll probably send a letter to your proctor, but For the most part, try to keep them within those dates. And again, with the exam evaluations, these are about 20 free points that get that go towards your exam grade. So try to complete those on time. Okay. If you have questions about the exams, again, please feel free to email me. Um, but this should get you started on them. Again, probably the two most important things: take the exam on time and make sure you set up your proctor ahead of time. Okay, I can't stress those enough.